When the wind blows, the people of Varzaneh await new signs of the ancient city to appear. An old city buried under the sandhills in the western corners of the Gavkhuni lagoon. They say, under these flowing sands, there lays a buried city, a city mentioned in ancient writings, a city which re-emerges again when the wind blows, the city of Saba. Varzaneh is a suburb of Banrud in Isfahan province, near the Gavkhuni lagoon, the city of sand and wind and white veils. They call Varzaneh the gem of eastern Isfahan because of its abundant ancient treasures. Varzaneh is the capital of Banrud district. It's situated 150 kilometers southeast of the city of Isfahan. A trench used to enclose the city in ancient times, but in recent decades, the trench has been covered and is used as a street. Pigeon houses, a safe place for pigeons, safe from falcons and owls and ravens, safe from the bellowing local winds, beautiful, organized, and identical nests, all made of clay. Isfahan's pigeon houses are one of a kind with regards to their number, construction, and use. Extensive farming in the plains near Isfahan was one of the main reasons for the creation of these houses. This was the best chance that farmers had to use the droppings of birds as fertilizers for their crops. French historian Jean Chardin has mentioned the pigeon houses in his memoirs of a trip to Iran. Chardin, the famous French voyager, visited Iran in the 16th century. In his memoir, he writes, "Iran's huge pigeon houses are 6 times bigger than the biggest of the breeding centers. They build these towers with bricks and cover them with plaster and lime. The interior wall of the tower has holes built to house the pigeons. Iran has the best pigeon houses in the world, and they're all built to access fertilizer." We're on our way to Isfahan, a city which takes up 6% of Iran's entire area, but to its people, it's much bigger than that. The city was called Isfahan in the Sassanid era in the 6th century. Isfahan's architecture was perfected in the Safavid era, 400 years ago. They call Isfahan a city sister of Florence, St. Petersburg, and Kuala Lumpur. From constructions still standing from the Safavid era, there remain a series of schools, markets, and motels. They are situated near Isfahan's Chahar Bagh Avenue, the world's oldest hotel. It was built during the Safavid era.
Good morning. Can I help you?
Yes, I'm checking in. I have a reservation.
Very good. What's your name?
Anderson.
Let me check it, please. From America, that's
Yes.
right? Yeah, I got it. Please take a seat for about 2-3 minutes so that I prepare the list, and then you need to sign something, all right? Please.
Thank you. This structure was commissioned by Shah Sultan Hossein Safavid, and he presented it as a gift to his mother during the era Isfahan was called half of the world. This motel was renovated and turned into a modern hotel later on. A building with a new look, but an ancient soul. There are only a few hotels around the world that are 130 or 140 years old, none of which compare to the Abbasi Hotel and its old and traditional paintings still intact. For example, the Fujian Hotel in Japan is 110 years old and is still a traditional structure. But Isfahan's Abbasi Hotel is 320 years old. The suites have been decorated in the style of the Safavid and Qajar era, but are still dreamy, beautiful, and contain an element of religion and history in them. In the middle of the yard, there are 1 or 2-story suites situated like platforms and symmetric in front of the patio, a link between outside and inside. It welcomes thousands of guests and visitors from both inside and outside the country. In the past 40 years, more than 150 famous people have stayed in this hotel. The quiet glory of the hotel, along with its tranquil atmosphere, reminds you of the glory of Naksha Jahan Square. Naksha Jahan was commissioned by King Abbas Safavid in the 16th century AD, before Isfahan became the capital of Iran. The square replaced a smaller one which had remained from the Timuri era. In the Safavid era, the Naksha Jahan Garden was one of the biggest polo fields in the world. 2 marble walls played the role of goalposts. Facing the square is the Imam Mosque, and behind it, the entrance to the Kaysar market. Sheikh Lotfallah is a mosque on the eastern side of the square, patient, calm, and facing the sun. A mixture of stillness and motion, colorful yet without color, in between the sky and the ground, the only mosque in Iran without a courtyard or minaret. Other ancient mosques usually have big courtyards and a minaret or more. Sheikh Lotfallah Mosque also has a dome different from others. It's not a big mosque like other mosques. In fact, it has a relatively small prayer room. But the beauty and magnificence of the prayer room is enough for you to get lost in. This mosque is the only one which has stairs right at its door front. King Abbas I had the mosque built in honor of Sheikh Lotfallah Jabal al-Meli, the Shia clerk who traveled to Iran from Lebanon. It was built for his and his family's prayer services. The mosque's walls with such delicate designs, carry a very heavy dome. There was no choice but to build them so strong and thick, some as thick as 2 meters. The interior of the dome is designed with stars, colored in gold. Stars that somehow remind you of ivies. The light inside the mosque is astounding. Around the width of the dome, in equal distances, there are holes which have been blocked by windows from both inside and outside. The light that comes through these walls gives the design a magical, almost holy look. When the sun shines into the mosque, the shape of peacock's feathers form on the roof. In the day, the peacock's feathers are spread out, and near the evening, they come together. By controlling the light, the building's architect has been able to attract our attention to every angle of the mosque. One of the things people in Isfahan and also tourists do to entertain themselves is riding in carriages around Jahan. The carriages are reminders of what up to 50 years ago used to be one of the main means of transportation for the people, but is now only part of a distant memory. During the reign of King Abbas the Great, a small square, which is now part of Jahan, was expanded to its current size. Famous historic buildings such as the King's Mosque and Sheikh Lotfallah's Mosque, the Ali Rapu Palace, and the Gaysari Gate were built around the square. Many world travelers and tourists believe that Jahan is one of the largest squares in the world. Shardan writes of Jahan, "There are 200 rooms around the square, all the same size and the same style. The rooms on the lower levels each consist of 2 shops, one facing the square and the other facing the market. The rooms on the upper levels have a terrace facing the square. I think Jahan is the most beautiful square in Iran." In the northern section of the square, there sits an entrance portal with tile works, the entrance portal to the Gaysariye market. The portal was commissioned by King Abbas and designed on a similar one in the Far East. Shardan, the French traveler, writes in his memoirs, "On the 2 sides of the entrance portal to the Gaysariye, there are huge platforms. In the past, jewelers and goldsmiths used to do business on these huge platforms. Merchants are extremely respected in the Eastern world, and trading is a profession more stable than most, and the fortune of merchants is more immune to changes." This is Isfahan's pivotal bazaar and has been considered the city's beating heart since ancient times. It's a symbol of a mixture of the socio-economics, politics, culture, and religion in people's lives. In this market, there are shops that have been selling only one kind of product for 400 years. Here you can see one of the main characteristics of Iranian architecture: conjoined space. From one closed space to another, back to back, continuous, and nothing disturbing this continuity. It's as if you never need to leave the long passageways. One of the famous handicrafts of Isfahan is engravings on copper. The artist focuses diligently on each piece, creating detailed designs, sometimes working more than 20 days for one work of art. I'd heard different things about the scientific activities in Iran and the progress Iranian researchers had made in nanotechnology. With the help of a friend, I went to Isfahan's Scientific Research Center. This center provides university graduates with the opportunity to expand their research and to commercialize their achievements. Isfahan's Research Center was established in 1983, just like any other technological center, in an effort to coordinate the activities of different scientific and technical centers, universities, and industries in the province of Isfahan. The charter of the Isfahan Research Center has the following activities as its order of work: to increase national capability in research and technology, continuing efforts in obtaining current and future needs, and increasing scientific knowledge and helping commercialize the results of research.
Okay, thank you. Nice meeting you. And
hi, nice to meet you.
Thank you, and I'll be happy to explain about our Isfahan Science and Technology Town.
Can you tell me about this industrial complex?
Yes, Isfahan Science and Technology Town is an institution to help small and medium enterprises, small and medium companies which are knowledge-based, establish their ideas and go through all the different stages of creating an innovation and establishing a new business and going to the market. So basically the main idea of this institution is to help small companies to go through all the different stages from the incubation and then post-incubation, and then finally we're going to have a science park which will host these companies and help them grow and hire more people and create a new industry in the whole country. Isfahan Science and Technology Town was established in 1993. The basic idea was created at that time, and then afterwards in about 2001 the first companies were admitted here, and right now we are hosting several incubation centers, post-incubation, pre-incubation, and at the current time we have more than 290 companies here in different stages of development. Now, if I may, I will have to go, and I'll ask my friend to take you to that office.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Bye. So what kind of work is done in this complex?
Actually, this complex is for the technology incubation in Isfahan Science and Technology Town. It has started 12 years ago in Isfahan. We have the nanotechnology group, we have biotechnology groups, we have ICT, information technology groups. That's the environmental, the talented engineer from Isfahan Science, Isfahan University of Technology, from Isfahan Technology and other universities that like to work in Isfahan. They observe by the small companies here and working on the field of the research and development. My expertise is in nanotechnology, but we are developing our patents and ideas in the field of the biotechnology, means how we improve the industry of the biotechnology with the nanotechnology.
Okay, like food and
yeah, it's
produce.
like a food and agricultural products. These products that you are seeing and something like this as well is an edible coating and is extracted from the rice and honey, chitosan, and nano-CO2. That's
okay.
So, but these combination, what it will do, it keep the fruits and vegetables fresh longer, and it's improve the shelf life. But it goes in the industry of the post-harvesting. Means 1 liter of these used for 1 ton of citrus.
1 ton.
Yeah, it's
okay.
So the nanotechnology means it's very small, but it works very hard.
Strong.
Yeah, this one is very strong.
So everyone's concentrating really hard. What are you working on today?
Actually, this team, they are team members of the nanobioreactors. For example, Neda is the head of the team. She's 3 years she's working here, and she's graduated from Isfahan University of Technology in the field of the chemistry. I think better you talk to her, so easy you can get the first-hand information.
Hi, Neda.
Hi,
I'm Paige. Nice to meet you.
nice to meet you too.
So can you tell me a little bit about what you're working on here?
We are working in agriculture field, and especially in this project, I'm working in an NMBR. It's a nanobiomembrane reactor that we produce compost, compost and liquid fertilizer.
So what is your plan for the future as a woman in Iran in the field of science?
I have a lot of dream in this science. I like to progress in my field, chemistry, and also agriculture. I think agriculture is first field to work in Iran and other country. And maybe I'll study PhD. And after that, maybe I like to be a manager.
Thank you for your time. It was
Welcome.
really
You're
nice
welcome.
to meet you.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Nice to meet you too. Glad to see you.
Isfahan's exotic night, with colors and lights and the stars. You can't help but love it. Man-made wonders under the darkness of the night. It's as if it suddenly becomes difficult to tell the sky and the earth apart. A place you can only feel and watch. A place that cannot be reached and is always on the go. Chardin said, "I am obliged to write this, to say that when you walk around in this city, you can't help but to fall in love. Looking at the different aspects of the city makes your heart beat and you lose control. I'm sure the climate has something to do with the fun-loving nature of the people here." The Vank Cathedral. It's a church and a museum in Isfahan's Jolfa district. It's a historic church dating back to the Safavid era. Vank in Armenian means the Grand Church. This church was commissioned in the 16th century by King Abbas II. A mixture of details and entirety, which is a key element of Iranian art, can be seen in this church as well. Here you see more 7-shade tiles than anywhere else. The main prayer room of the church is parallel shaped. It's made up of 2 rectangular sections. The first part is the building's courtyard, and the second, which is under the dome, is where the church's choir performs. The Grand Bazaar in Isfahan leads to the Grand Mosque, a mosque which is one of the oldest religious structures in Iran. The discovery of part of a column with decorations which date back to the 6th century AD in the north of the mosque tell us that the structure dates back to before the emergence of Islam. The Grand Mosque is a series of constructions and works of art built in the era after Islam, all built under the order of Iranian kings, ministers, governors, leaders, and women. The constructions show the changes art went through in the years since Islam's arrival in Iran. The mosque is also known as Ancient Grand Mosque and Friday Mosque. It's situated in the old section of Isfahan and is one of the most significant architectural gems in Iran and the world. And since the different parts of the structure were built in different eras, the current building is like a huge museum, showcasing changes in the style of Iranian architecture. Every part of this construction was built in a different era. They've been adding and taking away from this structure for 2,000 years. And the last time it was renovated was after the consecutive bombings of Isfahan during the Iraq-Iran War. Dr. Arthur, an archaeologist, writes, When I went to see Isfahan's grand mosque and stood under its dome, I realized that I had been completely overwhelmed. Because under this dome, you can realize the everlasting masterpiece and creativity of Iranians, and realize the beauty of the mosque and the dome. I've gone to the mosque and seen it many times since then. I've talked a great deal about its beauty and seen myself falling in love with Isfahan and Iran more and more every day.
Hi.
Hi.
Most welcome to Iran and Isfahan.
Thank you.
Where are you from?
I'm from New York.
I'm the local guide of Isfahan and this mosque. May I help you?
Yeah, what's the story about this place?
Well, actually, this part is known as Oljaitu prayer niche and the Mongolid part of the Jama Mosque of Isfahan. It was built in early 14th century, exactly 1310 AD, by the order of Oljaitu, the Mongolid ruler, as I told you, and is considered as the most beautiful plaster work among the Jama mosques in Iran. Some parts you see calligraphies in different writings, cuneiform calligraphies and so on, and some parts very beautiful stucco works, different parts.
What does the calligraphy mean?
In some parts under the arch, the name of a minister and also the ruler of Mongolia, Sultan Muhammad, the ruler, and also Muhammad As-Sawi, the Iranian minister of them, and also the date which it was built, which is 710 in lunar calendar, Islamic lunar calendar, or 1310 AD. Looking carefully at the prayer niche and on the pulpit, which is very good, very fine woodwork. In the big star, you can see similar shape in it,
Wow.
which was the same, dates back to the same time and carved on wood. But 700 years ago, this pulpit, of course, Safavid one, early 17th century.
Wow, thank you so much for your information.
You're welcome. If you need more information, also have a series.
Thank you. Royan is a research center for fertility. It was established in 1991 as a surgery institute by Dr. Saeed Kazemi Ashiani. But later, a lot of important research on stem cells was conducted here.
This institute is part of the Royan Institute, and in Tehran, the main institute is in Tehran and is made of three centers or three research centers. The biomedicine, which we do infertility work, and then we have the stem cell center, which we do research on stem cells, and then we have the biotechnology, which is sited in Isfahan, and it was founded about 5 years ago. This is a new building. We just moved around about 2 months ago to this building, and so we do, one of the main things that we do here is cloning, where we are hoping to produce genetically engineered animals in which we can produce drugs in their milks, so that one day we can use their milk as to produce medicine for people. And so far there is only one medicine in the world which is produced from the milk of the goat. So let's have a look at what we do.
Which animals do you use?
We use goat here. We're working on goat mainly. We have established our work on goat. Okay, you can see here the oocytes,
Okay.
and then you can see we are enucleating, taking the nucleus off. when we shine UV.
That's the nucleus right
yes,
there.
Yes,
Okay.
this is. Now the next step is to add the cell to the to this thing we call cell attachment. You see the enucleated oocyte, and then we can see few cells here. Slowly we bring it, and just by a slight touch, the cells get attached to our oocyte. So now we have a cell attached to our oocyte. Now we have to do fusion, and here you can see that the oocyte is fused. We have modified our system, and our initial system was the original, the orthodox system used in the whole world. Now we have tried to make our system very efficient, and now even we have made it handmade. You can use it on ordinary microscope, which is very user-friendly, and you can do it in many labs. So this technology was set up here, and this is the research we do.
Wow, so they're doing that right now?
Yes, they are working on this. What we can do, the cells which we are using to attach to our oocyte, we can manipulate it genetically, and therefore our animals, when born, are genetically manipulated, or they are genetically engineered animals.
Okay. What kind of changes do you make?
For example, we have, if we want to make a drug, like say, I just name insulin because it's very well known. So we can use the insulin gene and put it near beside a gene which is expressed or produced only in milk. So when the animal produces milk, it also produces insulin.
Okay.
But our aim is not insulin. We are working on different proteins, and therefore we can use any proteins that we want. We might be able to make it in the milk. We hope to be able to, by providing this service to the people, we would hope to help the people health with this sort of.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Good.
Very exciting. Hi, I'm Paige.
I'm Daria.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Where are you from?
I'm from New York.
Where are you staying in Isfahan?
I'm staying at Hotel Abbasi. Do you know it?
Yes, yes. Would you like to come to my home for dinner?
Okay, sure. Yeah, sure.
I'm living with my parents.
Okay. It'll be Persian food?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
Here is my number.
Okay. Minar Janban, situated 6 kilometers west of Isfahan, on the road from Isfahan to Najaf Abad. It's been 700 years since its construction, and it's been standing tall. So tall you think you could move it. It was built with a unique design, and it's still the only swinging minaret in the world. Minar Janban is in fact a resting place, the resting place of a mystic named Abdullah Karladani. They say it was built 700 years ago during the Mongol Ilkhanian era. It was a single patio, and then during the Safavid era, around 400 years ago, they added 2 minarets on the 2 sides. The design of the minaret has Safavid art written all over it. The fame of this small construction is because it swings. It is only 9 meters wide, and each minaret is more than 17 meters long. If you swing one of the minarets, the other one and also the entire building swings. A simple greeting is enough for them to invite you to their house, and they treat you as if you've known each other for years. I accepted Paria's invitation to dinner and went to their house. I'd met her at Royan Institute. Shardan wrote, "They put some butter in a pot, then they add a layer of rice on the butter, about an inch of rice. Then they chop onions on the rice, then fried, chopped almonds and dried raisins. The rice is always delicious, no matter how it's cooked." Iranians have a knack in frying nuts and the seeds of fruits. The life of Iranians, a mixture of participation and hospitality, is truly interesting to me. We're going to Nain, a small city, but an ancient one. It's a suburb of Isfahan in the Kavir Desert, with a desert climate. This mosque is one of Iran's most ancient mosques and includes a courtyard and a huge altar on 3 sides. Pirnia's ancient house is a perfect example of the architecture of houses in the central desert of Iran. A house dating back 400 years to the Safavid era.
a pleasure for us to welcome you visiting Kabir Ethnographic Museum of Nain.
Thank you.
This is a lovely house and dates back to 16th century and consists of several parts. Spring part is here, summer part is down here, fall and autumn are there. Winter part is on the other side, and the garden is as a picnic area in the house. But in the beginning, you see that there is a room with some kind of jars, which they have been used for keeping grain, wheat, and barley. And at the bottom of each jar, there are some little holes for taking wheat and grain out. So this is about this room.
Okay.
And then you can have a look at this painting of miniature, which means that here we have different stories. In the beginning, on the left side, this is the story of Lady and Majnun. The second one is about the Khosrow and Shirin. On the corner of this side, if you come here and look at that, you see the story of Joseph and Zuleika. Zuleika is sitting up there and Joseph is at the middle of the picture. You see some basket of orange which was distributed between the group. And finally at the end, there are some girls and ladies who, when they saw Joseph, they cut their hands and finger. On the other side, you see that the story are about hunting animals and hunting scenes. In the corner, we have angels, trees, and flowers. And between them, we have lattice window, which has been built recently. And on the other side, we have a story of life and nature and lion and animals.
This trip to Isfahan was a true adventure. My first-hand experience in Iran was more magical than anything I had imagined. The city and its people have a spirit that I won't forget.